YouTubers, gamers, and moviegoers, what's going on, guys? I'm the Messiah, this is Messiah Entertainment, and today we are reviewing Doctor Strange. Guys, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe's newest superhero coming to the big screen, starring Benedict Cumberbatch. This time we dip into the world of mysticism. This time around, guys, we're following Dr. Stephen Strange. He's a surgeon, and after a terrible car accident, his hands are severely damaged, pretty much ending his surgery career. He searches the world from top to bottom, looking for some way to cure his predicament, and eventually he stumbles across the Ancient One and her order of sorcerers. He at first doesn't believe it. He thinks it has to be some kind of revolutionary sort of technology. He doesn't believe anything coming out of the woman's mouth until she sends him on the best acid trip of his life. Meanwhile, another very powerful sorcerer named Caecilius is just defected from the side of the Ancient One to the side of a very ancient, dark, powerful being named Dormammu, and he's the main villain of this movie. Now, I've heard a lot of people say in recent years that origin stories don't need to be a thing anymore. You could just kind of jump into the character being their superhero or whatever. Maybe not at the peak of their, career or whatever, but they could already be doing, their superhero thing by then. This movie, and I think Marvel is just proving to us time and time again that that's not true. Ant-Man was a success last year. It was a really good movie, and that was an origin story. This movie is an origin story, and to introduce us into the world of mysticism like this was a challenge. This could have totally missed with all the different dimensions and stuff like that, and the ethereal plane, leaving your body and seeing it on the floor like you're a ghost dad or something like that. Yeah, I forgot about that movie too. But anyway, this is a really great origin story. The character of Dr. Stephen Strange, listen, he's a bit of a dick, and I like that. Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, he has a sort of similar vibe, but you don't get the feeling that he's as much of a dick as Doctor Strange is. Doctor Strange is just, in many degrees, just a complete narcissist, a complete jerk before, actually joining the sorcerers and becoming the superhero in this movie. I actually can't wait to see those two in a room together. Imagine the conversation, man. That's gonna be something funny to watch. And to see him placed in a situation where he's not the smartest guy in the room, he does have to relearn everything from the ground up. And he does it very fast, but he still has to go through that process. It's really interesting. And like I said before, the world of mysticism is great, and how they introduce it is both very trippy in certain places, but it's never confusing. You feel like you're with the movie the entire time. They could have easily have done this and said there's like 3 different planes, and you could go here and you could do there, and you could be here but also be here and be in the... It could have gotten really confusing really fast, but the way that they executed and the way that they showed it to us, it was very clear. I never was once ever confused or sitting there saying, what the fuck is going on? No, I got it the entire way through. And the visual effects were absolutely amazing to look at. Again, it's all that confusing stuff going in from dimension to dimension, to the kaleidoscope looking stuff, the Inception looking stuff with places folding in on each other. You have to hop from place to place, and gravity works like this here, but it's sort of different here. I really like that. When you're fighting in a hallway, but they could extend the hallway, so he's just running down, and it's like it's getting longer and longer and longer, and he's stuck. Or you could kick somebody out a door, but that door switches to another dimension. That stuff is really fun. There's a lot of awesome stuff visually here where you're knocked into different rooms that automatically enter into different places. So I was really, really impressed with that. And before I forget, the performances in this movie were absolutely great. Benedict Cumberbatch absolutely kills it. And like how you think of like certain superheroes are just made for that role, Benedict Cumberbatch does amazingly in a lot of different roles, but he is definitely like Doctor Strange. Like that he just fits so well into the movie. I didn't know much about Doctor Strange prior to this, so watching him on screen, it really brought the character to life, and I thought he did a very great job. Wong, that guy from 12 Years a Slave, whose name I'm never gonna really be able to pronounce, like all of them do a very great job in the movie. Mads Mikkelsen delivers a very great performance for Caecilius, which is so hard to say because that's actually one of the aspects that I think were one of the few weak points of the movie. The villain. Marvel has a tendency for everybody to say that just kind of dropped the ball on this a bit. No, while the performance that Mads Mikkelsen delivers is very great, the character himself didn't have as much backstory as I think I would have liked to have seen. Why exactly did he defect from the Ancient One's side to Dormammu's side? This is never really explained. I know it's explained in a comic book where I think his wife died and he wanted the key to immortality or to resurrect somebody, and then the Ancient One said no, but then Dormammu said yes. But stuff like that I get it, but that should have been shown in the movie. That's not something that you do in an off comic book that not everybody has read. And unfortunately for me, you know, it just kind of, it hurt the movie a little bit. It would have, if you could have just explained that, the movie would have been that much stronger and you didn't even have to go into too much depth with it. I mean, I think the movie's running time is like an hour and 55 minutes. You could have added a few extra minutes to just explain what the hell he was doing and why he was doing it. Again, I let it slide because like they did in Civil War where, you know, Zemo was more of a plot device rather than like the main villain. They sort of did the same thing here. Caecilius was the main villain, but he was also still just sort of like a plot device to move the story along, to get Doctor Strange onto fighting the main villain Dormammu, and to, you know, just have something for him to fight as he becomes the sorcerer that we all know he's going to be one day. We overlook it because at the end of the day, it's still a very strong movie without that fact, and it barely hurts the film at all. But besides that fact, I really enjoyed pretty much everything about Doctor Strange, and the fact that they were able to do something so crazy, so hokey with all these different dimensions and stuff and execute it very well. I applaud Marvel on that. It was such a dope movie. At the end of the day, guys, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 9 out of 10.
The Force is strong in this one.
This movie was totally dope. It's great to see that we can still do like crazy sort of ideas and stuff and do it so freaking well. So, you know, movies like this, like Guardians of the Galaxy, they lead the way for other crazier, cooler, different, out there kind of movies from superheroes, and I really can't wait to see what else they got in store. Also, I didn't even notice this until my friend pointed this out, that there are references to the Runaways in this movie. Tina Minoru, who's Nico Minoru's mom, is actually in like a scene or two, and she's actually in the comic book that's the prelude to this movie. That's freaking dope. They are like, it's like they're full on acknowledging that they are a thing in this universe and that they're coming soon. That gets me so hyped up. I love the freaking Runaway. This is not a Runaways video. Let's stay on topic. There's like a scene where she holds up the staff at one and it does like a thing where it closes up. It's just so dope that they're just referencing things right now, and they're really like they're on their path to doing this. I'm super hyped. But either way, this movie was totally dope. I would definitely recommend you guys go check it out. If you guys haven't seen it by now, what the hell are you guys doing? Get out there now. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure you guys got your own. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of Doctor Strange? Did you love it? Did you hate it? As always, you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, guys. Please check out my other channel, Directors JXM. I put up cool skits and short films for you guys, including Mass Effect Indoctrination, a cool fan film I did. Link in the description box below. I run the channel with my boy Johnny Lee's got his own channel over on Jake's B Entertainment. Be sure to check that out. Either way, that's it for today, guys. I'm the Messiah. This is Messiah Entertainment. I will see you guys next time. Peace.